Hey everyone, welcome back to Iraqi Dinar Hub. Today we're retaking a relaxed but deep dive into the fast-moving conversations happening across financial circles right now. There's been a surge of chatter about what people refer to as the Tier 4B exchange process. And the tone lately feels different from the usual speculation, instead of vague predictions. A lot of the talk has shifted toward what are described as actual steps being taken by major banks and even governments. The vibe being reported is that things feel more prepared than they have in past cycles. We're not talking about theories floating around anymore. People claim they seeing signs of organized preparation across various private financial networks, all lining up at the same time. Too many, this feels like the final stretch of a long process that's been unfolding behind the scenes. To get why everyone's buzzing right now, I need to look at the foundation of this whole storyline: Iraq's financial overhaul. Over the last several months, Iraq has been aggressively modernizing its banking sector, shifting from old manual systems to fully digitalized operations. The Central Bank of Iraq has been leading this major transformation, pushing the country to meet modern international banking standards. And this hasn't been a small update. It's a full reconstruction of the system that handles the country's financial flow. Reports suggest these changes are part of a bigger strategic plan that's been quietly unfolding. There's now a digital backbone that supports faster bank transactions, better control of the dinar, and tighter security against past problems like smuggling and black market currency movement.
Wow.
This digital shift isn't just happening inside the central bank. One of the biggest upgrades has been the digitization of government payrolls. Millions of public workers are now said to be getting paid through digital accounts and electronic cards instead of the old cash-based system. This is a huge move because it cuts out corruption, delays, and manual errors, and gives the government a clear view of where money is going. For any country thinking about stabilizing or adjusting its currency value, this level of control is essential. On top of that, Iraq has reportedly finished all the tests needed to plug into global banking systems. That includes integration with platforms like SWIFT and new channels for international money transfers. These are the types of systems a country needs if it wants its currency to function smoothly on the world stage. With these upgrades in place, analysts watching this situation are saying that Iraq has essentially finished the technical groundwork required for any kind of major currency shift by rebuilding its financial infrastructure. The country has supposedly made it possible to change the dinar's value without risking chaos inside the system. This is why so many in the community feel like the setup is more real and structured than anything they've seen in the past. For many, the conversation is no longer about if something could happen someday. It's more about how it would roll out now that the foundation is reportedly done. Now let's break down the terminology you'll hear in these discussions, specifically the tier system. According to the narrative, any global currency event would be rolled out in phases. Tier 1 is said to include central banks, governments, and major global groups like the IMF. Tier 2 would involve major corporations and humanitarian organizations. Tier 3 covers private groups that aren't part of the public exchange pool. And then you get to Tier 4, which is broken up into Tier 4A and Tier 4B. Tier 4A refers to individuals with special, government, or military connections, and Tier 4B is the general public everyday holders of foreign currencies like the Iraqi Dinar, Vietnamese Dong, or historical Zimbabwe notes. Over the past few weeks, one bank keeps coming up in all these conversations: Wells Fargo. According to multiple reports and insider-style commentary, Wells Fargo has supposedly completed its preparations to help facilitate Tier 4B exchanges in the U.S. These claims say the bank has trained special staff, set up secure exchange areas, and updated its digital systems specifically for handling large amounts of foreign currency. Some reports even say the bank has separate locations ready just for private appointments. If true, this would be a pretty major operation that most people would interpret as real readiness, not just planning for later. This brings us to the concept of sequencing. The whole exchange event is described as something that has to happen in order, like steps on a checklist. Tier 4B regular people can supposedly only be activated once the earlier tiers are complete. The recent excitement comes from reports claiming that Tier 1 funds are already positioned, Tier 2 groups are progressing, and Tier 3 is wrapping up. According to this narrative, if those pieces are lining up, then Tier 4B would naturally be next in the sequence. People who follow this closely say it's like watching a puzzle finally coming together after years of waiting. A time frame that keeps popping up in conversations is early, November 2025. Usually timelines like this are dismissed as rumors, but this one is being talked about alongside claims of bank readiness, digital system connections, and financial alignment across countries. Supporters point out that Iraq's 2026 budget draft reportedly includes mentions of exchange rate reform, which many interpret as a real sign that the country is preparing for something significant. To them, a timeline tied to a major fiscal document feels more concrete than random predictions. With regard to Wells Fargo, people discussing this claim the bank has been designated as one of the main clearing banks for the expected Tier 4B exchanges in the U.S. That would mean they'd handle the first wave of public appointments and verify currency. This idea has fueled closer attention to the bank's internal activities. Some reports say Wells Fargo staff at certain branches have had quiet briefings recently, security has been upgraded, and private exchange rooms have been prepared. Even though nothing official has been announced, these kinds of changes fit the pattern people expect to see before a big launch. The storyline also connects to the broader financial cycle. Some analysts say global markets are preparing for a new liquidity wave, and Iraq's recent actions seem timed to match that. It is common for major financial moves, especially currency adjustments, to happen during periods when the global system can absorb them. Early November is being suggested as one of those windows, especially with Iraq finalizing its 2026 budget around the same time. All these elements are being interpreted by followers as signs pointing in the same direction. So here's how the Tier 4B process is usually described. Banks like Wells Fargo and others would send out secure notifications. Not public aids, and eligible people would be able to book private appointments. At those appointments, individuals would bring their currencies like dinar, dong, or zim notes for verification. The bank would scan the notes, confirm authenticity, and then calculate the value based on live rates. Many discussions also bring up the idea of multiple rate options, including higher rates for those who choose to participate in humanitarian project commitments. The whole system is described as structured, secure, and supervised to avoid chaos or fraud. Another big talking point is the level of international coordination that is supposedly happening. These discussions highlight deep cooperation between the U.S. Treasury, the IMF, and the Central Bank of Iraq. Supporters claim all the technical alignment is done, meaning the systems for settlement, reporting, and compliance are ready to go. In this narrative, everything is running quietly in the background, fully tested, and just waiting for a single activation signal. This idea is why so many in the community say the countdown feels real this time. Finally, people talking about this don't see it as just an Iraq-focused change. They see it as part of a wider shift in global finance. Revalued Iraqi dinar, if it were to happen, could affect oil markets, change investment patterns in the Middle East, and influence the global demand for different currencies. In this view, it could even play into broader adjustments in the global economic landscape. That's why both everyday currency holders and major institutions are watching these developments so closely.